Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Murph back at you here again. So yeah, today we're going to go ahead and we're going to review the Charger. So before we kick things off, I want to start doing something new, and that is at the beginning of each video I plan on having a new beer every time, or whiskey, but we're going to just go with beer right now. And today I'm rocking the Coors Banquet, and no, that's not because I hate my life. It was just cheap beer. And the guy that plays Johnny Lawrence on Cobra Kai drank it, so I was like, hey, I'll give it a shot. And quite frankly, I don't recommend it, but if you're a Coors fan, maybe drink it. Okay, so now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. The whole reason why we're here, right? And that is this. I like that. Why is my GoPro upside down? If this whole thing was upside down, I apologize. Alright. Give you a nice all-around look at it real quick, and then we'll start diving in. How I plan on doing this video is we're going to cover some things on the exterior, then we'll cover the interior, then we'll cover some mechanical, and then we'll go for a short little drive to finish it all up. Now, some of you might be looking at my car right now and be like, Murph, your car's dirty. Yes, I know, it's black. Okay, I don't feel like washing this thing 3 times a week every time I'm going to do a video, so the car will be dirty in some of my videos. Also, I'm kind of like waiting to get some things done. I'm planning on getting some PPF for the front to keep the front fascia from getting messed up by rocks and big bugs and stuff, which so far I don't see any rock chips or anything going on in my bumper, which is good. I have driven this quite a bit. I've driven it like 350 miles since I got it, but I've been using it back and forth to work. But yeah, so okay, exterior. Let's talk about the exterior of the car. It's a wide body. So what does the wide body mean? Well, the wide body basically means that you get everything the Hellcat gets, because this whole body here is the exact same as the Hellcat, minus a couple things. A couple things will of course be the extra vents here in the hood on each side of the intake here, and of course it will be the wing. The wing on the Hellcat, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's a little longer out the back, maybe, and you see like where it divots down in here, it's more like one solid straight piece across. But yeah, other than that, that's basically your main difference on the exterior body of the Hellcat versus the Scat Pack. One thing that they did do with the body of the Charger this time around for the Hellcat and the Scat Pack Widebody, which I did mention this in a previous video, but you can only get the Hellcat in the widebody configuration now. So there's no more narrow body Hellcat Chargers. They're all wide body. So this is exactly how all 2020 Charger Hellcats look, is like this. All right, so we're going to come up here first and we're going to talk about the opening here in the front grille. As you can see on most narrow body Chargers, this will be like an enclosed piece of plastic, and then there will be what looks like 2 little air intakes, one there and basically one there where the Scat Pack logo is. So for the Hellcat and the wide body Scat Pack, what they went ahead and did is they opened this grille up more. So they took those little inserts out and just made it a more open grille, and then they basically cut this hole out here in the bumper to allow more air through. Now I don't know if you can see here, maybe not, but that is completely opening. There's no grill in there. It's just an open insert, and they call this the mail slot. So this whole front end of the Charger has been opened up to allow more air to pass through. As you can tell, there's no fog lights. Fog lights will not come on the wide body Scat Pack or the Hellcat. And yeah, moving on, we'll come down to the side here. Since you have the wide body, the front end has a more aggressive look on the front due to the extension of the Fender Flares. I can personally say this thing looks really cool driving down the highway. There's just something a little more sinister about it with the Fender Flares. So we'll move on down the side of the car. Now, speaking of the Fender Flares, let's talk about them for a second. I think it adds, I think it was 1.5 to 2 inches on each side, I believe is what it does. So the car is about 3, we'll say about 3 to 4 inches. I think it's 4 inches wider overall from side to side. Yeah, and it just adds this real more aggressive look. Now here in the front, your Fender Flares obviously is just here in the wheel well, which looks great. It just gives that more aggressive feel. But you come down here over to the back wide body, and while it is in the wheel well, as you can see, the door itself is part of the wheel well. So they went ahead and they brought the wide body package like into the door as well. So it's like a full fender flare through it, and it extends down through the door, which is really neat. Another thing that they did really well is they went ahead and they got this this skirt along the bottom here, which connects the fender flares to one another, and it just gives it that extra little bit of uniqueness for you to know that this is a wide body over a narrow body. And it looks really good. I mean, I personally think the wide body Charger is the best looking one that you can get. So along with that, so you got the Fender Flares, right? You have that extra inch. So what are you rocking for tires and rims? Well, these rims right here, they're 20-inch by 11-inch. And on those, you're rocking a couple 305 Pirellis. And they offer grip, but not a lot of grip. If you can remember my Challenger Scat pack, I had 275s on the back of those, and they didn't really like to hook up real well. These are a little bit better, but not that much better. So we're probably going to end up getting some grippier tires for this. Along with that, if you can see back through here, you have 6-inch, 6-piston Brembo brake calipers with a huge rotor in there. With that, you're going to get a lot better braking force than your normal Scat pack, which comes stock with 4-piston Brembos. The 6 pistons are automatically included with the wide body package, so just like the Hellcat, it automatically comes with it. Okay, we're going to walk around to the back. From the back end of the car, if you're looking at it from the exact part of the back, you really can't tell that it has a wide body package, which is kind of my only downside of this car, because if you're driving right behind me, you're not going to know I have a wide body until you start to move out to the side, and that's where you can see the flare actually come out and around. Like the previous year Charger, you'll get the little bumblebee on the back here with 2 round exhaust tips, whereas the Challenger has those rectangular ones. We'll move along the other side of the car here. Already touched on this wing a little bit. It's not different from the regular Scat Pack wing. Since this is the wide body, I wish they would have gave us the Hellcat wing, which it would be a little bit different. Other than that, nothing else is really new on the exterior. This is the first year of the wide body package for the Charger, so this is the 2020. You can see it says Dodge there in the headlight. That's kind of cool. So yeah, we did that. I said I was going to move on to mechanical, or the interior next, but let's go on to the mechanical because we're already here. So we'll move it around. Ooh. There we go. Alright, so what you're looking at under the hood when you buy the Scat Pack is a 6.4 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. They have hemispherical heads, and it is controlled by a pushrod internal cam. So it has one cam compared to, like, let's say the Coyote by the Mustang. It has dual overhead cams, so it has 4 cams. This one is the old school design with a single cam in the middle, push rods up. Delivers about 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. And one thing I love about Dodge, let me get in here, as you can see, the engine block is painted orange, like old school Dodge Hemis, or like old school Dodges to begin with. Anyways, they keep well to their heritage on this, which is something else I really love. And yeah, it's good looking, and what I love is that the engine is right here, accessible, open. They did a really good job with making this engine bay look the way that they did, and they're really showcasing that V8. I mean, it's big, and I love it. All right, so that's the mechanical. This is paired up to an 8-speed automatic transmission with a positive traction differential. And it does put the power down. The automatic is no joke. It bites at the right marks. It shifts well. It shifts hard when you're laying down into it, which is something else I really enjoy about it. It just got that old school, just like throw you back in your seat feel. It's awesome. And it does have the electronic differential. So with this, I'm going to go into it a little bit. Actually, you know what? Since we're in the mechanical part of it, let's talk about everything else that comes on this car that comes with the Hellcat. You got the adaptive suspension. So you can put this thing into street mode, automatic, sport, and track, which is when we get in there in the interior. I'll show you on the screen on everything we can do. With that, you got the upgraded suspension, just like the Hellcat, with the upgraded sway bars to make this thing turn in a little bit tighter. That is something on the wide body package that the narrow body Charger Scat Pack will not have. I hope to start autocrossing. I don't know if we're going to be able to for the rest of the year because well, COVID, but next year hopefully I can actually get out and actually get to do some actual tracks. I mean, obviously I'm going to still be taking this to the drag strip, but I didn't buy this to be a drag strip car. Although it can do it, it is heavier than a narrow body Charger. If I wanted to drag racer, I would have got a narrow body, but I wanted to open myself up a little bit more than just doing drag racing all the time. But anyway, back to this. I think we're good on the mechanical aspects of it. A lot of this car is really just taken from the Hellcat. That's why I say it's almost like buying a Hellcat with less horsepower, because you get almost everything the Hellcat gets, minus a few things in the body and maybe a couple things mechanical. I think the Hellcat actually gets a different automatic transmission. It's like a beefier one to handle the horsepower and torque outputs. All right, so let's get into the interior. This red, it gets me every single time I look at the car. I love it. So the only thing that this car has on it options wise is I went ahead and I got the Plus package, but the red interior Plus package. So that means other than that, this car I basically bought a base model, unless you want to count except for the Plus package. So no sunroof, as you can see. Doesn't have the Harman Kardon system, but it does have the Alpine stereo system in it, which also a thing that automatically comes on the wide body is the Alpine sound system, just like the Hellcat. On the narrow body, the Alpine system is an option, just like the Harman Kardon system. So these already have better speakers off the bat from the narrow body. This car, I think the wide body package offers another like $6,000 on top of what a narrow body would cost. So for $6 grand, you're getting the better suspension, the wider body, the Hellcat body basically, the sound system kind of falls into the suspension, but the sway bars and the adaptive suspension, along with what was the other thing? The dynamics package. It's the dynamics, the 6-piston Brimbos. To get that on the Scat Pack narrow body, it's the dynamics package. Otherwise, you just get the 4-piston. So you're getting all the upgrades the Hellcat gets for about $30,000. Not even really $30,000, for about $25,000 less than what a Hellcat costs. All right. So you're gonna take a sit down in here. We're gonna open her up. Turn her on. See the little bumblebee on there. Is it gonna say SRT on here? Because it has, but sometimes it acts finicky. Turn that off. There we go. Uconnect system. Most of the time it'll say SRT right across here, but I've only seen that happen when I have the automatic start on, so maybe that's part of it. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look down here. basically it's all same old Dodge stuff. You got your power button and your volume, your mute, your hazards, screen off, your tuner. And you got your drive modes here. You actually got a button for your launch control here, parking sensors off, and traction control off. And then you move down another block and you have your climate control, your front and rear defrosters, your driver side, heat, cold, passenger side, heat, cold, and then your AC and your, whatever the hell that is. I'm blanking on what that is. I don't know. It just felt yeah, whatever. I don't know. I've had a long day at work. So then you come down here and you do have this very nice automatic shifter. So there's drive, which then you can go up here and use your paddle shifters to shift. But then if you go over here to manual, you can shift it down and up that way too, which is really nice. So okay, then you got a couple of cup holders right here, which is really nice. If you don't want to use your cup holders, you can just put that slot over it and it just offers a really nice clean look here. And of course you have your center console. Comes with this little coin tray that old people use, and then pretty actually nice deep center console in here. I like you get your 12 volt there, 2 USB ports, and then a auxiliary port, although I don't know anyone that uses an aux cord anymore because those are kind of older as well. It's amazing how quickly we've advanced with technology. Alright, so let's see, what else haven't I covered? Let's go here to drive modes. Let's take a look here. So when you hit drive modes, this is what's going to pop up, this little screen right here. And from here you have a plethora of options to go through. If you click race options, it'll bring you here to your line lock, your launch control, and your shift light. Yes, you can turn a shift light on, which mine is. When you hit a certain RPM over here, the dash will blink red, and that's when you can shift with your paddles. You can also set up exactly where you would like the shift light to come on. I've only played with it. I haven't actually gone through and set my preferences yet, but that'll be something I do someday. Then you got your launch control, which is where you can set. If you notice, this is different than what my Challenger's was because it's an automatic, and since it's an automatic, it should be able to launch at a lower RPM. That's another thing I like about the automatic. It's just it's faster than the manual. I can't complain. Alright, so then you go here to line lock. I haven't tried line lock yet. I plan on doing it very soon though. Maybe that'll be a video. And basically what this does is it locks up your front. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything because my doors are open right now. But basically what will happen is it's going to go ahead and lock up your front brakes here and allow you to be able to do a more smoky burnout, which is awesome because you're in a Dodge. Why would you not do a burnout? Hell yeah, brotherhood of muscle, baby. Alright, so going back, we're now going to go ahead and go to performance pages, which we will get to, and if it ever loads up, because it takes longer than hell. It's still a shorter time than it took my old Uconnect system, but this thing is still kind of slow. That's another nix I have about this, is it does take a while for the computer system to actually boot up in this car. However, it's still very user-friendly once it does, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's your home screen. You're able to go ahead and you can select whatever you want to be on your home screen here. So for me, I have my horsepower, my current gear, my trans temp, and my coolant temp. Those are some of the most important things to me when I'm driving, and it's just a quick access. Go down here to timers. Do not pay attention to any of these numbers. I really haven't drove this car hard enough yet for me to actually be like, okay. So yeah, that's man, the timers are actually kind of different than I thought. So actually not that much. They are in a different format than the last Uconnect system though, so that's kind of cool. Okay, then you can go to gauges, which you have 2 pages of. You have your oil temp, coolant temp, oil pressure, battery voltage. Go over one more, you have your trans temp and your air intake temp. It's all kind of really cool that these are here. You go to here, you can do a G-force meter, which is pretty neat too. Then you have your, I guess, engine meter, I guess. It shows you how much pound-feet of torque and horsepower you're cranking out, along with your PSI of your oil pressure. And then, oh yeah, I guess over here it will show you what gear you're in, and then up here your mile per hour. But one of the cooler features, which is also something that the Hellcats had, and I think the Hellcats had it before the Scat Packs, but I'm not sure, so do not criticize me if I'm wrong on this. Like I said, I'm not sure, so don't take this to heart, but it has a dyno. It has a dyno, and on here the dyno will actually read as you drive along, which is really cool. And then down here, this is actually your shift meter, I guess. I don't know. It'll tell you like your shift point. So if I were to shift from first gear to second gear at 5,000 RPM, it'll show me right here shift 1 at 5,000 RPM. So that's really kind of cool, and I like it. So yeah. Hey guys, upon editing my video, I realized I did not go over everything within drive modes. I guess I was just super excited to take this thing out for a drive and show it to you. But here, we're gonna go over that real quick. So we'll get back in here, right? And that's actually going to be the drive modes itself, right? So as you can see here, like I said, you have auto, custom, sport, and track. Although I think I said street and custom, sport, and track. Auto is just what the car will automatically set itself to. The reason I got confused with street is because when I go in here, I do have everything set up into street mode for my auto. That's going to change. But my custom, though, I haven't played with it yet, but I am going to eventually. I'm going to get it set up the exact way I want it. Then you have sport mode, and then you have track mode. Now, what is all this? Well, within this, what changes is your transmission will be changed into track, so it will shift harder and at higher RPMs. Your traction will be put in track, which means that you will almost have no limited, your limited slip will basically be turned off, and you'll just be burning tires. Your suspension will be put in track, so it's a little stiffer here and there, and your steering's a little stiffer in track too. In sport, same things, just a little less aggressive. Custom will be whatever you want it to be, and then auto, the way I have it, the auto set up, so it's going to be in street, so it's less aggressive of all of them. Also, just like the old ways, you hold this for 10 seconds. Eventually it'll pop up on here. That's stability control, and is turned off. So that's the only way to do a perfect burnout in this car, to be completely honest with you, because even with it in track mode, eventually the slip will catch and it'll stop doing a burnout. My buddy with his Hellcat Red Eye, sour horsepower, that has actually happened to him with the track a couple times, so he has to turn everything off completely first, and then be able to do a burnout. But yep, I just want to add that in real quick, and yeah, that's that. And then over here, like your standard Dodge, you have a plethora of pages to go through. Here's your performance pages. Up here was your vehicle info. Your fuel economy, don't look at that. I have been driving with a lead foot. Your trip info, your audio, your messages, your screen setup. You can set this up however you wish. Your speed warning, if you want to activate that. I don't know why anybody in a race car would want you to put down what your speed warning is. And then your diagnostic codes, which is really cool. And then back to your good old speedometer. Okay, from there, I really don't know what else to talk about. Maybe we should get this puppy out on a road and actually take her for a little spin so you guys can see. I will talk about the seats. The seats are extremely comfortable. This is Dodge's Alcantara, so it's the leather and the suede mixture. It's really nice. You get your little bumblebee symbol on here, which is cool, and I talked about this in my last video, but one thing I like, this no longer says Charger across here. We'll actually say it's a 392 with your little Scat Pack symbol, so people know that you're actually in a Scat Pack this time around, instead of just walking in here and thinking you have a V6 Charger, because all the thing it said was Charger across it. I'm not salty that that's how they did that for a while, but I'm glad they finally changed it. Oh, another cool little piece of information is, since I got the red interior, I don't know how well you can see this, but I do have red stitching across my dashboard, which is really nice. I think it would have been cool if they would have implemented red stitching inside my steering wheel as well, because that would be really awesome to look at. And then also on the center console here, you got red stitching as well, along with on your armrest here and your door panel, so they did that really well. And yeah, let's go for a quick little drive, and we'll do a little review of the drive with her. So stick around. Okay, so now we're in the car. We're gonna go for a little spin. And there's a couple things I want to talk about while we go for this drive. One of the biggest, I think, right, is, okay, Murph, the car looks great. It's cool. What'd you pay for it? Well, once I traded the Challenger in and got all the power dollar deals and everything else, you know, stuff knocked off of invoice, or my invoice off of the MSRP, everything about on this car came down to about $46,000, which is a good chunk, right? But also, when you think about it, right, there's a few factors that go into this car, right? Yes, it's still a Scat Pack, but you get everything the Hellcat gets on this car. I mean, basically, when you break it down, you get everything a Hellcat gets, only with 200 something horsepower less, right? Almost 300 horsepower. You know, so there's a $25,000 difference between the Scat Pack and the Hellcat base price, obviously. So is it worth it? Yes. Yes, it is. It's 100% worth it. Especially if you're somebody that wants to do more than just drag race your car. If you want it for road trips, guess what? This thing is awesome for driving on the highway. When I'm on the highway, I get 24, 25 miles to the gallon on this. It's not bad. I haven't road tripped it yet, but I did road trip the Challenger, and the Challenger had these seats, and guess what? It was really nice. I was really comfortable. It was actually one of the most comfortable vehicles I ever rode in. Granted, I did have trucks and everything like that before, so that might be something. Riding around in a truck is going to kill your kidneys the entire time from the rattle of the horrible suspension. But, you know, it was still a very nice, really nice vehicle to ride in, you know, and I'm gonna love riding this when I decide to take a road trip. Plus, maybe I should have covered it, but the back seat back there, it has another 2 USB ports down here. Plus, these back seats are heated. It's nice, you know, in the wintertime, taking your friends and family out to go do something, gets cold. Well, good thing you have heated seats. Even in the fall time, because, you know, like, I know my grandmother and my wife, they get cold easily, so it could be 45 degrees outside, which is weather that I love. I'll still roll my windows down in that. Granted, I might have the heat on while the windows are down, but I'll roll the windows down. Fall's my favorite time of year, especially driving cars like this. But you have the heated seats. So the other thing too is, who's the competitor for this car? It's really not one. Now, there's not really an American competitor for this car. I mean, Chevrolet tried with their SS sedan, which was basically just a Holden rebadged with a Chevrolet symbol. I mean, that's basically everything. That was all that it was. So, but they didn't hit their production numbers like they thought they would. They saw how many people were buying Chargers, and they were like, damn, we need to do that again. But Chevrolet's market just isn't right. So, with no American competitors, who are you going to look to as a competitor for this car? Well, the next easiest one would probably be the Kia Stinger. But that's a twin-turbo V6. It's not a naturally aspirated V8. You don't get the same sound. You don't get the same fun in that car as you do in this one. And I think the price point is very similar. So why would you get a car that doesn't make as much horsepower, doesn't make as much torque, and doesn't make all the fun noises that the Charger makes for the same amount of money when you can go out and buy a Charger? All right, here we go. We're going to show you what this automatic can do real quick, all right? Getting on the highway and... effortless. This thing is awesome. So, alright, Kia Stinger may be a potential, you know, competitor for this car. But I don't think it really is. So, what could be another competitor? The Mercedes AMG C63. They still make a 4-door C63, I think, right? I guess, but now you're looking at more money, right? So the horsepower, I think, is pretty similar on that. I think it's almost like 500 something. So, you know, maybe about 100 horsepower more. But you're starting to venture into Hellcat money. We're going towards the C63. Not quite yet, because I think a base C63 starts out at, I want to say 60-something thousand. I could be completely wrong on that, but I think that's where they start out. But then you could just spend another 10 grand more and get another 200 horsepower out of a Hellcat. But that's the other thing too. You know, this Mercedes is in a completely different class of its own because it's a Mercedes. It's a foreign car. It's not in the same league as the Dodge Charger. It's not even really in the same league as the Dodge Charger Hellcat. So what else you got? You got a couple BMWs, right? There's a V8 rear-wheel drive BMW. I think it's a 7 Series. Once again, too much money, you know. So that's why the Charger, I think, is doing as well as it is. It's a naturally aspirated V8 with rear-wheel drive. It's extremely responsive, and it has awesome technology and handling incorporated into it. And that's why I think the Dodge Charger is going to keep dominating this market in America until Ford, which Ford said what, they're not going to do any more cars except for the Mustang and like what, the RS. They're not going to produce any more cars because they're all going to SUVs. Well, oh well, okay, cool. What about Chevrolet? What's the closest thing Chevrolet offers right now to the Charger? And that would be the Impala. That's a V6 front-wheel drive car, and they're pretty similar in price too, especially if you get like a loaded-out Impala. So it all depends on what you want. But if you want a 4-door muscle car that sounds as good as this car, that handles as good as this car, and performs as good as this car, well, then this is your option. And you can customize it any way that you want. I got this car, when this car first started out, it started out as a little piece of paper on my salesman's desk. Not even really a piece of paper. It eventually became a piece of paper. It was a whole bunch of computer codes on a screen. And I got to check mark boxes that said, I want this on my car, and I want this on my car, and I want this on my car. Those were, I think I literally chose 3 things, honestly. I said I want a Dodge Charger Scat Pack Widebody. I want the Plus package with red interior. And I want a cargo net in the back in case I'm doing a long haul. I want to be able to keep my stuff from moving around too much. So, yeah, that's my car. I built it from, but you're like, well, that doesn't sound like a lot of stuff that you put into your car. No, but you also got to understand, the wide body package already offers a bunch of options that you can get on the narrow body. So it made more sense for me to go ahead and get this and spend $6,000 more for a car than spending, you know, however else amount that I wanted to on a narrow body. Plus, this thing takes corners. Oh my gosh. I think there's another black Charger wide body right behind me. I don't know if you guys can see him back there, but he's right back there. Damn. Yeah, he's checking me out too. What's up, man? Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. The reason why I think that the Scat Pack is a better choice than the Hellcat, even though this thing has 11-inch wide rims on it with 305 Pirelli tires, it still chirps a little bit in this car when I'm doing a pull on her. The Hellcat's even worse. The Hellcat will just burn, burn, burn. So if you're wanting a daily driver that still has good performance out of it, I recommend getting the Scat Pack. Also, if you're not a fan of a supercharger whine, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, but if you're not, you don't get that with the Scat Pack because no supercharger. But you still get a healthy amount of horsepower and torque. 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and finish the video here. Leave a like if you like this video, because we're going to keep doing more things with the Scat Pack. Leave a comment on what you think I should do better, because I actually do read my comments, and any suggestions you guys have for me, I will greatly appreciate. And you know what, subscribe to the channel if you want to go ahead and you want to see more stuff like this, because the build, this is just the beginning. She's not staying stock. There will be more stuff happening on... Fuck me. Okay, I have to go. My PSI light just came on for my front passenger side tire. So with that, I'm going to end this. We are going to do more stuff with the Charger. Stick around. All right, I'll holler at you guys later. Bye. So I don't know what happened. It said my front passenger side tire was down to 23 PSI. And then it stayed like that for about 3 minutes. And then just kicked back up to 37 PSI. I don't know. I was about to throw my hazards on and limp her home, but I guess she's okay. I'm going to check my tire, and I'm actually going to go get one of my tire sensors. Or not my tire sensors, but my pressure gauges when I get home. I'm going to take it to that tire and see if she's actually reading 37 or if she's reading down in the 20s. That was weird. I don't know. Any of you guys have new Chargers or Challengers and have that happen to you? I only have 380 miles on this. I don't know if maybe it's just a little in the system, you know? I know that doesn't look good on a brand new car, but honestly, it just fixed itself. So I'm wondering if maybe, I don't know what that was. So other than that, car runs perfect. Alright, well, this will actually be the final part of the video then. So go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, stick around for the next video. Maybe I'll do one of me washing the car here soon. I never thought I would say that in my life, because I don't know who needs to know how to wash a vehicle. But let's say you have a black car and you don't know how to take care of your black paint right off the bat. We'll do a video on that. We'll wash the car up, and we'll show you how to keep it from getting deep scratches in it from the first few times that you wash it. So stick around, and Murph will holler at you later. Bye.